Can you encapsulate just what all happened this year for people to give them a recap?
Well, I really think at the highest level, what this year was is it set the foundation for the next 10 years. Like there are years where you're executing on ideas more than coming up with ideas. This year, as we close it out, if I reflect upon it, is really the projects that we approved, the ideas that we pursued, are going to set the foundation for the next 10 years for Fishers.
I remember 10 years ago, 90% of what I'm seeing now was not here. So what are we going to see 10 years from now? How's the landscape going to look different 10 years from now?
I think our city will become even more dynamic with the arena being built, with breaking ground on Andretti the other day, the quality of life amenities, whether it's Geist Waterfront Park, hopefully a community center, Nickel Plate Trail. I just think living in Fishers is going to be infinitely more interesting and exciting than what it is today, and I already think it's a pretty great place to live.
And talk about tax cuts.
Yeah,
How do you do that?
Well, I think I've always been of the belief that if you grow, you have a strong economy, it allows you to invest in your community while at the same time hopefully alleviating the burden on the people that already live here. That's the whole premise of this growth is that, hey, I was talking to a person the other day about this, and they were challenging me about, well, why all this growth, why all this development? And we were around City Complex, and there were some firefighters walking by. I said, do you see those guys out there? And she said yes, and I said, do you want police and firemen in your community? She said, yeah, absolutely. I go, do you realize that they cost more money every year, right? Like, they're going to want a salary raise from time to time. Their equipment costs more. Their health insurance costs more. If you don't grow, where do you think that dollar is going to come from to pay for that fireman? It's going to come out of your pocket again. But if I bring more companies here, if I bring more people here, I can spread that cost over a lot more individuals. That's really what's fundamentally happening is we're growing at a rate that's faster than what our costs are, and so we're able to pass some of that savings back on to the residents.
Did you know we surpassed Carmel within the last 12 months as the highest population in Hamilton?
I heard that, and I think, honestly, that difference will continue to grow. I think there's a lot of development out east in single-family residential that isn't even in Fishers yet. That will be an annexation, believe it or not, Tom.
That nasty word.
But it's a voluntary annexation.
Nickel Plate Trail, a lot of upgrades coming to that. You kind of got the big, I guess, the marquee part of it, the middle part of it, going under 116th is kind of finished and completed now. Talk about where that goes now.
So design is underway to basically complete the Nickel Plate Trail within the confines of Fishers. So from 106th Street down to 96th Street, we have funding to build that trail and then build a bridge over 96th Street. Why is that important? Indianapolis has the money then to take the trail all the way down to the fairgrounds. So over the next 3 to 5 years, I would say, you will have the ability to go from 146th Street all the way to the state fairgrounds on that trail.
The Rev development?
Yeah, I think what's interesting about Rev is condos. That's not something we've seen in downtown Fishers. The vision of the building is unbelievable. It's kind of jaw-dropping. It's a great location right next to the Nickel Plate Trail. And those can range anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million. And I think it's really exciting time in Fishers to think that you could have a $700,000 condo in downtown Fishers.
How about the Hotel Nickel Plate? It's going to open at 24, right?
Yep, first boutique hotel in downtown Fishers, right on the trail. It's going to have a full-service restaurant and bar in it, which I think is going to be fun and kind of engaging. Mm-hmm. And the architecture is really spectacular, so kind of blend right in with First Internet Bank and just a cool place to engage right on the Nickel Plate Trail.
The project I'm excited about, I know Carrie is as well, the new City Hall Arts and Municipal Complex.
Yeah.
Get a new office for yourself?
Yeah. Unfortunately, our office was falling into the ground. It had some foundational issues that were cost prohibitive to fix. And so that broke ground the other day, and we should be in there in like 18 months. And what's really unique about it, and you mentioned it, Tom, is this art center on the first floor. We want people, our residents, to engage with City Hall. Well, today, or at least before we tore it down, you wouldn't see very many people walking into the doors of City Hall unless they were dealing with a permit issue or had a meeting with me or something like that. This is an opportunity where I hope every day when I walk into the building, there's lots and lots of residents engaging with their building and hopefully bringing them closer to their local government.
You mentioned earlier Andretti Motorsports headquarters. That's a huge project. Talk about the importance of that, and why did Andretti pick Fishers?
Well, I think really the importance of it is multifaceted. One, an amazing brand. The Andretti family name is known worldwide. Two, they really are an entrepreneurial and tech company. I mean, they are growing and they have ambitious goals, and they're doing so much more than just racing a car today. Third, they bring really good paying jobs. I mean, they're bringing 500 jobs to Fishers. And probably most importantly for us is if you think about that 96th Street corridor for us, particularly in the southwest part of the community, kind of needed a catalyst or a brand or an identity. And this is going to absolutely do that and hopefully spur a lot of development around it.
White River Park development.
Another amenity to that area, we were successful in receiving a grant to start the build out of nearly 100 acres of parkland along the White River. And design is currently underway for that, with the construction probably in 24. And if you haven't been down there, which I don't know why you would be, I've been down there, and when you get into that land, that 100 acres, you would never even guess you're in Fishers. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I'm excited to see that park come to fruition and really activate the White River.
Community center. So you talked about this in your State of the City address.
Yeah.
It's been in the works.
Yeah, you have to be approved. You've got to work through council on this. But, we brought Jake Reardon McSoley over from the YMCA to be part of our team. We've been working on design for some time. We hope to have a conversation with council probably in the January, February timeframe and roll that idea out to the community. But it's probably long overdue. Our community of almost 105,000 people, and we do not have a community center. Nowhere in February, if you want to take your kids somewhere, we don't have that. So we think we can bring that amenity to our community and really do something extraordinary.
The thing I'm most excited about, Geist Waterfront Park. I tell you what, hats off to you guys. That's an awesome park. 70 acres.
Yeah. When it greens up and all the landscaping happens, I think people in that area, because I know you're from that area. A lot of people out there. There were a lot of sensitivities as to what kind of park are we going to build, and will it be accretive to the overall Geist feel. And I do feel like the design team did it justice. Like, anyone who lives on Geist should be proud of that park. Even just the gateway itself is, very nice, the entrance. And then when you get in there, the amenities, whether it's the beach or the playground or the walking paths, I think it's an awesome addition to that area.
The Fishers District expansion, that's a lot of homes going in over there.
Yeah, the current homes are going in there right now. The actual district expansion is a $500 million project that includes more hotels, some entertainment venues, restaurants, office buildings, and multifamily. So if you like the yard today or the district, you're going to love the extension of it, because it's going to be more of that, and then probably even some more dynamic entertainment opportunities.
So what about the Fishers Event Center?
Yeah, that's a
Hockey
big one.
stadium.
Yeah, $170 million project. It's on a concert. It would, at its max, would probably be about 7,000 people, 7,500 people, maybe a little bit more than that. For an average hockey game, probably 5,000. But what's so cool about the design of it, I just saw this the other day, the internal design. There are a ton of suites, like you would think of traditional suites, but it's in that smaller environment. So if you have a suite at this venue and we have a world-class entertainer, let's say a concert going on, you do feel like you're very close to it. And then there's bunker suites, so you can get closer to the field or to the hockey arena, but then you have your suite where you walk down, hang out, then come up and watch the game. Yeah. And then there's luge seats, there's party suites, there's a lounge. What we really wanted to create inside this environment is 16 or 17 different ways for you to experience whatever event you're going to. And if you will be an anchor tenant, our intention is to bring in as many kind of world-class concert acts as we can. And then community things like Fishers HSC basketball game, regionals or sectionals. And then probably most importantly, most residents who have kids, they'll be able to graduate. Yeah, in their hometown.
I guess last thing for this year is the sesquicentennial, 150th anniversary of the city of Fishers.
So there's been some neat little programs going on and stuff, but I think generally what I would tell you is I can't think of anything more important or more appropriate to pay kind of homage to 150 years of Fishers than to have the year that we have had.
Mhm.
I mean, it really is setting the stage for the next 50. And so I think instead of just celebrating the past, we are doubling down on the future. And I think that is kind of part of Fisher's DNA anyways, that we tend to be more forward focused than we do looking back.